Now, if you catch yourself still burning the midnight oil, chasing invoices and tweaking email funnels solo, you think you can't afford help, but the real cost is your time and your sanity. Stick around. I'm about to show you how to offload the busy work and build an amazing VA team and get your evenings back. No full-time hire required. Okay. So if you're like many very busy entrepreneurs, you likely have gone through the whole thinking that it's just up to you. You and only you can do all of this work. Well, as someone who has also done that, and I would say wasted a lot of time, it's just really more costly because at the end of the day, you always have to think, what is my time worth? That is one thing you cannot ever get back. You can get back lost money. You can make more money. You can't make more time. This is why it is critically important that you get help with things that you may not have felt really great about outsourcing. For too long, I was really the one-woman show. And you just think, hey, I can do all these amazing things. I can build a course. I can build a website, which I learned to do in 2007. I can set up all the cold email scripts, and I can do all the bookkeeping, and I can edit all my videos and get them all scheduled and published. But at the end of the day, why? You have to really ask yourself, why does that sound like it makes sense? Because I'll tell you why. Many people, including myself at one time, thinks that in order to start their own business, they think they haven't got any money to spend on outsourcing any of this stuff. Now, I've been surrounded by entrepreneurs, and one thing I hear often is there's two things. Number one, I don't have the money to outsource. And number two, I don't even know what to give them. Now, comment below if that's been you, if that's your situation. But also, I will say, besides commenting, stick around because I'm going to enlighten you a little bit here, okay? First, I highly recommend that you create a list of all the to-dos that you have. You should be doing this anyway, but just create all those to-dos that you should be doing, like creating the actual content, monitoring what your client owes you, and then create a second list of those things that really should be delegated that I call 10 or even less than $20 an hour items. Things like bookkeeping, editing video content, setting up and running cold email campaigns or nurture email campaigns or any email campaigns, adding a landing page to your website, making sure that the opt-in form is all connected to your CRM. All of those things, and I could list lots more, all of those things you should be doing. So I have a very simple process, 3 steps, and it's going to be very simple. And from here on out, you are no longer going to be doing these less than $20 an hour jobs. Ready? All right. Here's the simple ass process in finding and working with really great VAs. So, as I mentioned, first thing I want you to do is get a whole list out, all the things, and sometimes you may not even remember. And what I have done, I have gone just 4 weeks at a time, writing down everything I've spent time on, and even like how much time it took me. So whether it's building a landing page or whether it is creating an invoice to send to a client, whatever it is, write all those things down. Then take that list and then create a new list out of that of those things that only you should be owning, which really should be sales. If nothing else, be more of a marketing lead in your team, definitely those things. And as the marketing lead, you're going to have to create the actual content, just like I'm doing here. But you don't need to be editing this software. So that could be outsourced, for example. So you got your list of things that you do, and it's maybe over the course of 4 weeks. Then you got a list of things that should be outsourced. And now, once you've got that, Now we need to source the really amazing VAs. So, number one place that you should be going to is to source your own network. Now, if you're an entrepreneur or a founder and you are listening to this or watching this, you are likely in at least one, if not two Facebook groups, two different Facebook groups. More than likely, you already are. But let's just say you're in at least one. Maybe you're in a mastermind. Maybe you're in a Discord or a Slack channel that has a group of others like you who are maybe solopreneur or, part of a very small team, let's say. So what I want you to do is ask in your network, who would they recommend? So that's where you go to first, because these people, they're all entrepreneurs just like yourself. They've all gone through the finding and hiring a VA. They would not recommend, even if they don't know who you are, they're not going to recommend somebody they don't trust, or they wouldn't recommend to a friend. That's why you go to your network first, always. It's the first and it's the best place to go. That's where I went. That's where I got my VA. So I also know from this referral that they understand Kajabi, they understand Canva. So there's certain skill sets I'm already familiar with that they already have. So number one is your source, your network. Number two, if that fails, nobody doesn't have any referrals for you, which can happen because maybe these VAs are so amazing that they're booked up. If that fails, then I want you to go to upwork.com. I know that there are many other freelancing sites out there, but I found and hired dozens of people from Upwork since about 2014, actually. And they do have a method for ensuring that you're not screwed out of what you paid for. I'm going to give you a little story about something that happened. I think either 18 months, almost 2 years ago, maybe now. Those of you who don't feel you need a contract, make sure that you get one in place. Now, I know when you're working with Upwork, there are protections in place. For example, they can go after those freelancers if the freelancers aren't giving you the work that you paid for. Now, I lost $2,500 because I had a freelancer on that platform that actually just ghosted me. And don't let it happen to you. But long story short, did not get the money back. This guy was kicked off the Upwork platform. Here's how you avoid that. My lawyer then created a master service agreement document specifically to protect me against vendors and really also for their protection as well, so that I don't just I don't take their work and then just like if they want an NDA around it or whatever, that's totally fine too. So there's protections on both sides, but obviously primarily many times I am in the middle. I'll have a vendor and I'll have a client and I'm in the middle. And so I am facilitating the work for the client. And so many times what I will do is I will pay the vendor just to get the work going. And this was part of that mistake where I did not wait for the client to pay me first, and then I go and pay the vendor. That's also now part of my routine. But anyway, it was a lesson learned. The point is make sure you have some kind of legal protection in place, whether it's Upwork or some other VA platform, but just make sure that you're covered. Now, if for whatever reason you can't find anybody on Upwork, number three, hire your high school or your college kid if you have one. If you have them around, this is another really helpful place. They are your kid, so they already know how to answer to you. And so why not hire them? I had a really great experience. I hired my daughter one summer. I also learned what a really great employee she is. Very dedicated, conscientious, and very hardworking, which was awesome to know that about your kid. And because she was willing and understanding of what the work that I needed her to have done, I paid her out of payroll and it worked out great. And that was when she was in college. And so it was perfect. Something like that might be a situation where whether it's your kid or your niece or nephew, there's got to be some college or high school kid around that could really learn from you and want to work for you. So those are my 3. Source your network. You got to jump into the Facebook group or your Discord channel or your Slack channel, somewhere where you know there's a bunch of entrepreneurs hanging out. Number 2, go to Upwork. As I said, there's lots of freelancer type sites out there. I have used some are a little less trusting, or there's less quality of freelancers than others. I do like Upwork a lot. I have found a strong network of reliable VAs there. And then number 3, just maybe hire your high school or your college kid. That's it. That's all I got for you today. It's short, sweet, but really very important if you are a founder. Make sure that you get this stuff off your plate so you spend more time on strategy and bringing in more sales. As I said, comment below. I would love to know your input, where you are, where your struggles are. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one.